In this video, I'm gonna look at some of the most unethical life tips that people can think of. Now, the problem is they all make sense, but they're devious. So as I look through each one, I'm gonna rank them based on how corrupt I think they actually are. And if you're willing to do something that's high on this list, you have some deep questions you need to ask yourself. All of these are coming from a subreddit called Unethical Pro-Life Tips. Let's dive in. All right, tell your self-conscious daughter that she's fat and save money on groceries every month. No, you can't start me here, dude. You can't. No. Bad editor. That's awful. I can't condone that, dude, because I got a daughter. I hate it. This is corrupt. I don't know what I'm supposed to rank this on. That's so bad, dude. That's got to be A tier. I can't imagine that not being A tier, because then you're like, hey, babe. Oh, man, are you fitting in that? Do we need to get you some new clothes? Because, it doesn't look very good. That's just awful on like 20 different levels. Daughters need to be told like you love them. No, I want to move on. I feel sad, dude. I just want to hug my kid and just be like, hey, I love you. That's what dads need to do. You can't. I have coffee. I feel like I should be drinking alcohol for this. This is crazy. That's where you're going to start me on. That's A tier, unethical. I'm not going to say it's S tier because I'm sure there's something really bad, but that's really high up there. I don't like that one bit. We're moving on. Okay, if you suspect the apartment next door is an Airbnb, rent it for a night to get the Wi-Fi password and never pay for internet again. That's really smart. That's actually just really smart. The issue with this though is that the Wi-Fi at these places usually is really bad. And I'm someone that's like, I want giga because I'd be downloading, that sounds bad. I work on videos a lot. So I want good Wi-Fi. I game and stream and I watch stuff. There's no recovery. I like having good internet for very G-rated reasons. And I think I would not be content with this because the Airbnb Wi-Fi is notoriously pretty awful. Like, it's a really good idea, and I actually would support this, and I don't even think this is really unethical. I think that's actually just like kind of, it's not even that bad. I don't think that's unethical at all. I think that's just really smart, and that's Gigabrain, and so because it's really smart in Gigabrain, it's not corrupt. So I'm gonna say C tier. That feels good. Next, clean your house perfectly before the first working day of your new housekeeper. When she comes, apologize for the huge mess. You see, this person knows how to motivate people. First off, fam, you're living privileged, all right? There's so many different categories that you can do this with because in general, it's just like anything that you would hire somebody for, be like, this is the worst. I'm so sorry. Because that just motivates. That gets them to think on a deeper level. That's not even corrupt. That's just smart. F tier, very smart thing to do. Everybody should do that. Motivate by saying, hey, this wasn't very good when it was actually very good. Yeah, F tier, do that. Everybody should do that. Starting a new job, no matter what the reality is, you now have 4 alive grandparents. Oh. The lack of context was very helpful. That is Gigabrain. That is so smart. You lie. You're lying. I don't have any grandparents left. I don't think. Let me think. Do I have grandparents left? No, my last one just died. Rip. Sorry, Grandma. Can we get like a little tribute to my grandma that just died? Okay. Gosh. I'm an awful human being. Anyways, I can't take advantage of this, but I could. But I'd have to lie. I feel kind of unethical about that in general. But get yours, fam. Get yours. All right? I respect that, actually, so I'm putting that at B tier. It's a little bit corrupt, but I like that. I'm going for that. That sounds good. And the thing about dead grandparents, like dead parents, you can stalk them on Facebook. There's so many ways to discover the truth. Dead grandparent, it's like they're not on Facebook. They're not doing anything. They're not on any social media. Like you can always be like, hey, were you close with them? And then you always pull the card of like, they raised me, right? There's so many ways to play it that could get you an extra couple days. Brilliant. I'm going to put that at A tier. I don't even think that's devious. I just think it's like that's just so smart. Own a coffee shop and need to boost your sales? Trigger fire alarm in the local office buildings. Their employees will have to go out and will probably want to grab a drink while they wait. What? That's just marketing 101. Not enough demand? Create it. At least they're not saying start a fire in the other place. Like there's a worse version of this. I think that's very corrupt because you're breaking the law. That affects a lot of people, especially like firemen. But like at what cost? You know, don't do that. I'm not suggesting breaking the law. Terms of service, I don't agree with that, but smart, very smart. Need friends? Yeah, we're on YouTube. Create an attractive fake Tinder profile of the opposite sex. Start leading on a bunch of people. Arrange a date with all of them on the same time, same place. Show up as well. Announce they must have pulled a prank on all of you and suggest you all go drinking together. Okay, first off, you are actually crazy, IRL. That is insane. Because the only way that you would think to do that is if you've already done that. I actually believe that this person has done that. That is actually certifiably insane. And that's the saddest thing. There's so many better things. Catfish people. Hey, do you want friends? Why don't you go catfish some people? All right? Each sentence, it gets worse. Need friends? Don't even like the start of that. Yes. Start leading on a bunch of people. That means you have to actually like flirt with them. Brutal. A guy would do this. This doesn't sound like a girl thing to do. Because like girls wouldn't be like, hey, yeah, let's all go out drinking together after we've all been stood up. Guys would be like, all right, yeah, I'm here, so let's drink. I don't like this at all. This is devious. Don't do it. That's like on level with breaking the law for me. There's nothing that's like mid. These are very extremes. Do these things. Don't do these things. Don't do that stuff. Don't do this. Guys, make friends. Go work out. Join like a class. You know, go play a sport somewhere. If you're a girl, take a yoga class. Guess what? You're going to find some people. Take a cooking class, right? If you're a guy, go play softball and you're going to find some friends. You're going to find some homies. This is awesome. Someone did that. That's what makes me so mad about this. Someone did this. And if that's how you start your friendship, that's not a great friend. So, boo. If you accidentally scratch someone's car, write a note in shaky handwriting saying you were 5 years old and fell off your bike, then leave $5 saying it's all you had? Your small tits to me? No. That's so bad. And the reason I'm making this facial expression of sadness is that this would work on me. Like if someone did this, I'd be like, oh my gosh, what a nice kid. I'd be so gullible. Being like, wow, 5 years old? They gave me their last $5? Aw, man, that's like a lot for them. And I'd be like, it would work. So that's going to be devious, but I'm putting that B tier because like there's worse ways to do it. Again, we're talking about scratch. It's not like a hit and run situation, right? You're scratching. So it's like one of those like, should I not kind of things. I love it. And by love it, I mean, don't break the law again. Don't do it. If you glue a dead wasp to the palm of your hand, you can hit your boss on the back of the head as hard as you'd like and act like you saved him. We all have that one boss. Put in comments, put who you do this to. I know exactly who I do this to. I had this boss, her name is Susan. I'm not going to say her last name. Dude, she was the worst. There was one day where I was like, I had like this idea. I would be like, Susan, I have this idea of how I can improve this thing. I'm going to do all this extra work to get it done. And she said, Grant, I'm going to stop you right there. You are a monkey. I want you to do what monkeys do, which is exactly what I tell them. And when you stop doing exactly what I tell you, I'm going to fire you. Hey, Susan, is that a wasp? I would hit that woman so hard and save her life. I'm realizing now that this is saying save him, and you shouldn't hit women. I'm realizing that now. Every single one of you watching this has had that boss. This would work. I don't even think this is corrupt. I think this is very strong. I think, in fact, you likely should do this. Never mind. No, don't do this. Editor, cut that out. We can't condone violence. I would hit that woman. I need to make this statement. I do not condone violence of any kind, but I understand it. Every one of us has that boss where it's like, that would have felt good. That would have felt real good. Everybody has their Susan. I want to hear what your Susan is. Put it in the comments. Who's your Susan? I want to read every story of the worst boss you've ever had, and you tell me why they deserve this. I would love to read those. I think we should support each other in a community where we talk about who we do this to. I'm ranking that. I'm going to put that at B tier, dude. Don't do that. There's a little bit of a consequence. I don't suggest doing that, but I don't think that's corrupt. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I should ask myself some questions. I also employ people, and I hope none of these people would hit me upside the head. I never want to make people feel the way that she made me feel, and I think that this is reserved for the people that make you feel that way. If you're stuck on an annoying call, put your phone on airplane mode instead of just hanging up. The other person will see call fail instead of call ended. We just are coming up with really great ideas right now. Everybody's got that person that just goes on and on forever and does not shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
I love this. This is F tier because guess what? Do this. This doesn't hurt anybody, man. That doesn't hurt a single person. That's so smart. And then just follow up with a text, say, oh, I'm sorry, I got really bad service. There's no shot that call's going to continue. There's no chance. Hey, I got really bad service. Sorry. I love that. I love that. So great. Do that. Absolutely. Everybody should do this. This is so smart. Just do that. Do it. If your coworker calls out of work sick, you can do the same 1 to 3 days later. Your boss will think you have the same thing and it's going around the office. In fact, most of the time, your boss will do the same thing shortly after you. It's the fake flu. Boom. There's a predicament here. If you work remotely, that virus probably won't work out. What you can do if you work remotely, give a couple days prep and be like, my partner, family member, they are sick. That gives you a little bit of a buffer. You're working in the buffer here. In the office, it's perfect. You're fine. You just got to say like, hey, you give a buffer of who's sick around you. So I don't support unethical things or lying or being dishonest. That's why you should get jobs that have unlimited PTO. But I like the efficient levels that people will go to be lazy. All of this to get a day off. We work so hard to not work. No one likes to work. This is someone that doesn't love what they're doing. Professor McGonagall's twin. They want to watch Harry Potter stuff and just wants an excuse for it. And I'm saying for that girl, that makes sense because that girl doesn't want to work very hard. I just respect it. I respect that hustle. That's hustle. So I'm going to put that C tier. That doesn't hurt anybody. And that's just being a little bit dishonest and kind of lying a little bit. I don't condone lying. I'm not about the lying lifestyle. I prefer to be honest, but I respect the hustle. If you're going on a date with somebody, mention to them about how busy your schedule is. If the date goes good, you can plan more dates and they'll feel special because you're planning them in your tight schedule. If it goes bad, you have an excuse to not see them again. That makes sense to me. That sounds good. Context-wise, I've only ever dated one person and I married them. So I don't really know this whole like social, what's cool and what's not cool to like date a bunch of people. But what I will say is if you do continue with that person, it becomes very obvious very fast whether you're actually busy. So that might become that might bite you in the butt a little bit later. I would prefer to be kind of like the type of person where you're honest and you're like, hey, I don't think it's gonna work out, but it was cool meeting you and let's just be friends. That sounds like a much healthier approach than being like manipulating them into thinking they're special. But at the same time, I kind of get it. I do understand the tactics, but this is just someone that's like probably never gotten into a serious relationship because they're going to see through that. And then that will probably be an issue. And then you're like, oh, well, why'd you build our foundation on a lie? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but I'm just going to say that's F tier. Doesn't hurt anybody if you want to do that, if you're about that life. Need a trespass? Bring a dog leash. If anyone asks you why you're on their property, you can tell them that you're just looking for your good boy. Yes. As someone who trespasses quite a lot, I like exploring. Dude, there was one time my dad wanted to see the grave of Stonewall Jackson from the Civil War. That's such a dad thing to do. Isn't that such like a Republican dad thing to do? And it wasn't even his grave. It was the grave of his arm. He is buried separately from his arm. He got his arm cut off, and they buried him in a different place. I visited both because that's just what I did with my dad. That's what he liked. That's my dad's thing. Your dad has a thing too. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Your dad's thing is weirder. I guarantee you. I guarantee you it's weirder. Anyways, we went and we had to trespass in this property because it's like private property. It was like dusk, and I was actually like a little bit scared. It was a situation probably could have gotten, in trouble or whatever. I think everybody should do this. If you're going to trespass, which you shouldn't trespass, if you're going to be a creep and go in somebody's yard or whatever, lame. Don't do that. Don't like that. But that's not very corrupt. I'm going to say this. I'm putting that at F. I'm finding out there's a lot of corrupt things I'd actually do. And apparently I'm willing to lie a lot. So let's round this out. This is the last one. If an LDS missionary, so LDS is Latter-day Saints, I think that's Mormon. If an LDS missionary knocks on your door, ask them to mow your lawn. They 100% do it. Is this true? I want to test this really bad. I've had them knock on my door. They look like such dorks, dude. I don't want to hate. I'm not a hater. But it's just annoying. No one wants their door to get knocked on and have to talk to somebody No one wants that. I am so curious. They're probably incentivized because I think their whole thing, I could be like totally botching this up. I think their whole thing is like they believe that 144,000 people will go to heaven. And that 144,000 people are like the best of the best. It's like literally an MLM. If you get more people to join, then your rank goes up and you like level up. They would be like, oh, if this can get me to get you, then I'll mow your lawn. And that's really smart. That's not even unethical. Just ask them to mow your lawn. Is there a lot of things that I'm willing to do that's unethical? That's not even bad. There's no one, you're just asking them. They're asking to preach to you. You can ask them to mow your lawn. You can ask them to do whatever. Hey, you want to mow the lawn? Will you talk to me after? Yeah, I'll talk to you 100%. I won't believe you, but I'll talk to you. That's going to round my list. What do you think? Am I in the wrong there? Is there anything there? Like, I look at this list and I'm like, I'm a bit concerned. I'm really curious of how my editor is going to react to this. Because this is like not corrupt, very corrupt. I'm actually going to say diabolical. I think that's how you spell it. Very corrupt. Mid. Chill. There's a lot of things here that I would say you're probably chill with. Really, there's only these two that are like diabolical. This is diabolical. And that's against the law. That sounds good to me. Let me know if you agree. And if you want to see me rank more things from subreddits, click on this.